welcome you to the 2019 edition of the Human Resource Expo Africa HREA Summit. This year's theme is the art of employee engagement.
Good afternoon, everybody. I hope nobody's tired from lunch. Good afternoon, everybody. Should we all agree that if you catch anybody like dozing, you are going to have to stand on your seats? Do we agree? Do we agree? No. So that means some of you have plans to sleep for you not to agree. Good afternoon once again. My name is Ikeoluwapo Adebowale. I'm currently the Chief People Officer for Softcom Limited. And today I'll be talking about one very long topic that I have been given, but it has to do with using technology to recruit the right people. I'm usually very excited about this kind of opportunities when I'm given. And one of the reasons is because I believe that this is the time for HR professionals. I put up an article on LinkedIn recently. And one of the things I mentioned was that in the near future, or even from now, there'll be lots of startups springing up in Nigeria. And at some point, we would realize that startups will actually drive the economy of Nigeria. And there is no business that won't need people to drive it. Yes, CEOs might feel as if they don't need HR people, but at some point, they would need someone to help them look for the right people. They will need someone to help them retain the right people. They will need someone to help them retain the processes. They will need someone to help them motivate the people and do what needs to be done when it comes to people. And those are the HR professionals. So I don't know about you, but for me, I'm like super excited that I'm an HR professional at this point in time. And for me, one of the things I'm also beginning to realize is that things are changing. A lot of things are changing within the business space, within the environment, within the ecosystem, and same thing within the HR space as well. There needs to be a change in the way we think as HR professionals. There needs to be a change in the way we handle situations. There needs to be a change in the way we do a lot of things. So the old way of doing things in HR is now beginning to change. For example, my role right now is Chief People Officer. It's not, Chief CHRO, Chief HR Officer. So those little changes are things that are happening. And we need to, first of all, understand why these changes are happening and then begin to align to them. So using technology to recruit the right talent for your organization to succeed. The first thing I would say about this is, when I looked at this topic, one of the first things that hits me was the right talent. Using technology to recruit the right talent. Do you agree with me that the right talent for your organization may be different from the right talent in my organization? Do we agree? So what could cause that difference? Do we have a second mic, please? So, sorry, before I move on, first of all, I'm not a big talker. Please believe it. I love an engaging class. So I ask a lot of questions because I think this is also my opportunity to learn as well. So as we go along, I'll be asking questions. And as you go along, please also feel free to ask me questions. I'd rather leave the class comfortable that we all have our questions answered and my slides have not been gone through fully. That for me to go through all my slides and then we now have loads of questions at the end of the day that we can't answer. So please feel free to stop me at any point in time to ask your questions. For orderliness, just please raise your hand as you go along and then I'll be asking questions as well. Do we have a second mic, please? Okay. So now, I asked a question. You all agreed with me that the definition of right talent in your organization may be different from mine. So why do you say that? Or what could be the difference? Or what could cause the difference? Yes. Different cultures, yes.
Different production.
Different production, yes. Yes. She said different culture. What could cause different cultures as well? different leadership,
different business focus,
different business focus, different policies, corporate values. You know, I've been in the tech space for a while now. And within the tech space, of course, you can wear red shoes to the office. You can wear jeans and T-shirt on Monday morning. But you can't do that in the banking industry. Now, one of the things I realized is that it doesn't mean that the culture in the banking industry is bad. It doesn't mean that the culture that promotes wearing T-shirt and jeans on Monday is better than the other one. No. It's because of the industry that they operate. So you're all right. The product, the values, which all boils down to the industry you're operating in. If you're in the banking industry, there's a lot of hierarchy. And the reason for that hierarchy is because, you're dealing with money. For that money to go out, there needs to be a whole lot of approvals. Unlike if it's a startup where you can make mistakes, come back, make the mistakes again, and so forth and so on. So it's important that as HR professionals, we know the definition of the right kind of talent for your own organization. It's not a one-size-fits-all. I used to work in an organization where, for us, let me give you a simple example. We had loads of developers, and for us, it was important that our software developers had strong business acumen. And the reason is because if you're building a software or if you're building an application, you need to understand why you're building that application and the impact it has on the entire business. Now, I'm working somewhere else where, yes, we have a tech team, but then the CIO says, look, I'm not going to pay a premium for someone who has business acumen. I just need someone who can code very well. So that's very quickly is a huge paradigm shift for me. Because when I'm assessing someone or interviewing a software developer, I'm not going to be asking him, do you have business acumen, or testing him based on that. So the same thing with us as HR professionals, and even as you change jobs, it's important that you ask yourself these questions as you get into the organization. What does this organization value? What is the right talent for this organization? What are the skill sets that are most important to drive this organization's profitability? So when we now begin to define what the right talent is, we now begin to look at how can we find these talents? Where are they? Where do they hang out? Where do they sit? Where are they usually gathered? Because guess what? If you're looking for, who can even give me an example? If you're looking for a software, you can't say you want to go to Rock Cafe. Is it Rock Cafe now? Hard Rock Cafe. You can't say you want to go to Hard Rock Cafe to find one. But if you're looking for a sales guy, where will you find him? Sorry? Where will you find a salesman? Depends on what you're selling. I like that. So, give me one example. Give me an example of what you're selling and where you find him. Sorry? Energy drink. So where would you find a salesman who has experience in energy drinks? Exactly. Exactly. So because you have an understanding of the talent you're looking for, that should guide where you look out for them. Now, I thought to myself, I said, let's even start from the basics and understand what recruiting is. Because in looking at technology and how we can use technology, today we are going to look at the processes around recruiting and then begin to ask ourselves this question. Which part of the process can technology actually help us with? Or is it all parts of the process? Because the truth of the matter is, I was in the class today, and the facilitator asked a question. He said, technology, is it a friend or a foe? Is technology a friend or a foe? A friend. Both. Sorry? Both or neither? I used to work in the consulting industry, and do you know one thing? If you ask the consultants, anybody in consulting in here? So when they ask you that kind of question, what's the response that you normally give? When they ask you, that's a sharp babe, man. You're a correct consultant. They will tell you what? It depends. So they never tell you this is right or this is wrong. The response is, it depends. So it depends on how you're looking at it. It depends on what perspective it is. So now, what is recruiting? There's some words that I defined, there's some words I highlighted there. And it says it's the process of finding. So first of all, we need to find, which speaks to the question I asked earlier on as to if you're looking for, where do you go to? The second one is hiring the best and most qualified candidate for a job opening in a timely and cost-effective manner. The second one, which I prefer, it says it refers to the overall process of one, attracting. So, there's something that they always say, especially about startups or, I think these days, the funky name for one-man business is what? Startup. Very good. The question I'll ask you is, you are looking for, there's this idea that says that if you pay peanuts, expect what? Expect monkeys. So as an HR person, if you have been able to identify what you will categorize as a right talent, the next question you would ask yourself is, am I attractive enough for that person I'm looking for? Because if you are not attractive enough for that person, two things will happen. Either the person will not join you at all, or the person will join you, and what will happen? The person will leave immediately. So what tends to happen is you find organizations where they would say, look, our idea of right talent is someone who is a go-getter, someone who is autonomous, someone who is self-motivated, someone who is, what are all those English words again? Tell me now, you're HR professionals. Who is what? Go-getter, work under pressure, fast learner, all those things. So you want someone who can run with things. And then you now employ the person. The person is now taking initiative. They're like, no, don't do this one, no. That is not how we do it here. You have to do as you are what? As you are told. What do you think will happen to the person eventually? The person will leave. And vice versa too. Peradventure, you want someone who actually is a go-getter. You now hire someone who, unless you tell the person, put this bag under the table. Even if there's water under that table, they will still do what? They will put the bag in the water under the table. Do you get what I'm saying? So now, it's attracting, we're talking about attracting. And the question is, can your organization attract the kind of talent that they are looking for? The